Stars, Showtime, Paramount Plus, Peacock, wherever. Just put them right there. Listen, you can watch this on the big screen. You got what, 55, 65, 75 inch TV. You can watch that on the big screen. Hell, we're on the big screen, right? Mickey Ficky now. Now, you can also tweet the show. You can tweet us at Sports Zone Shy, that's CHI, at Sports Zone Shy. Now, if you want to follow me, just me personally online, you want to know what I did? Well, let me tell you what I did. You want to know what I did? Well, here's what I did. I made it nice and easy for you folks. Nice and easy. One handle for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. All one handle at the Shawn Sierra. If you want to follow my lovely co-host, Maya Kai, you can follow her on Facebook and Twitter at The Sports Chica. If you want to follow her on Instagram, because you're an IG and you do it just for the gram, we'll follow her at Maya_Akai. It's MAYA_AKAI. We have a great show for you today, but I need you to get interactive. So whatever platform you're watching us on, whether it's Facebook, whether it's YouTube, whether it's our mobile app, leave a question or comment on that platform, and it'll come up here in the thread. We'll get it up here on the screen, and we'll incorporate it into the show. And that, my peoples, is what makes this the best Chicago morning sports talk show around, is you. So bring them all, baby. We want them all. Questions, comments, smart-ass remarks, because ain't nobody scared over here. And like The Rock said, baby, don't sing it. Just bring it. Let's see who we got in the chat to start. Man, we are jumping already in the chat. This is what I'm talking about. Lavette Lee in the Mickey Ficky house. Hey, mama, how are you? Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Cornelius Squalls, what up? There he is. My man Armando Emeterio Lara Jr. He's in the house. Junior, what's up, Papa? And I appreciate it as always. As always. James Ford. He's in the house. Good morning, Papa. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Here he is, Michonne Walls in a Mickey Ficky house. Yeah, Greg is here, baby. Greg is here. And I'm not happy with all those damn burpees I had to do yesterday. Not happy with all those burpees I did yesterday. Not happy at all. Brandon Schutz, good morning, Papa. Whoa. What's going on over there? Oh, okay. Just warming up some tea. J2K in the house. Walter Jericho, what's up, Papa? How are you? Thank you for tuning in. Man, we are jumping. Listen, I don't know a lot, but I do know this. More of the usual suspects will chime in as the show goes on. That, my people, I can tell you. I don't know a lot that I know. Lineup today. Who do we have on today? My man Evan Winter from A to Z Sports is going to join us at 10 o'clock for a quick chat. We're going to talk about the new OC. We're going to talk about the coaches that he's bringing in. I'm excited. So Evan Winter from A to Z Sports is going to join us at 10 o'clock talking Bears. We got some Bulls to talk. We got some Blackhawks to talk. We got college basketball to talk. Oh, Arturo's in the house. What's up, Papa? Good morning. Brandon Schutz is watching me on the big screen. That's what I'm talking about, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Yay. I love it. Pardon me, I'm pulling a Walter Payton. I woke up. I didn't even go to CrossFit this morning. So I woke up and my body ached and my body was aching and I had a little bit of a cough. And I was like, oh man. But don't worry, it didn't stop me. I knew I had the show to do. It's like like the flu game. I couldn't cancel the show because I was under the weather. What? Stop it. That's for all these the new generation. I don't feel good. I need a personal health day. No. We got sports to talk, baby. And I'm here. So if I mute out every once in a while, because probably I have to cough or something, I'm not going to subject you to that. Come on. But yeah, so I'm a little under the weather. I'm sweating. Like I think I broke it last night. You know when you when you wear a lot of clothes, you know, and you just sweat it out. You sweat out all this. Yeah, I put my mom's old Mexican woman, so she had. So if you know what Mexican women do, so if you know the remedy that Mexican moms use for everything, Vicks vapor rub. She's like, here we have some Vicks. Make sure you put it on your chest and your back. Oh, that was funny. I almost died laughing. That so sure enough, she put Vicks on my back, I put it on my chest, and I sweated it out. So I'm still have a little remnants of it, but hey, we got a show to do. We got some sports to talk. All right. No. Vaporu. Vaporu. Arturo, you're damn right. My mom doesn't have the accent. Some of my friends' moms have the accent. And I think when I've heard them say that, and in my head, when she said that, that's what came to mind. But that is awesome. That's hilarious. Yes, Vicks will cure everything to a Mexican. It cures AIDS, it cures cancer, it cures everything. Just pon aquí, pon aquí. That's hilarious. You guys are awesome. That's a hell of a way to start the day. Oh man, that's awesome. That is so hilarious. Well, listen, guys, you know how we do. The first segment of every show is called Top of the Morning.
It won't come just when you want it.
Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning
to you. First top of the morning topic. Man, this happened the other day. We don't talk a lot of college basketball often here. But yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about it today. Unfortunately, DePaul fired their head coach, Tony Stubblefield. He's having a rough day, a rough year. All right. He was 3-15 on the season, 2.5 years into his stint. He was 9-38 overall. And that's a big problem now. Now DePaul has to go on a search. You know, DePaul basketball was at one point in time, that was a hidden gem. All right, that was Chicago's team. And the reason being is they had a lot of Chicago players. I mean, the legendary Ray Meyer. You know, he got Mark Aguirre from Westinghouse, Terry Cummings, Skip Dillard. You know, a lot of the names that we grew up on, us older cats grew up on. And then Joey took over. And Joey had a little bit of success. But after he was done, DePaul really didn't have much success until Kennedy came. All right. And that's when he got Quentin Richardson, Lionel Simmons, Tommy Kleinschmidt, all those guys. And no, I think Kleinschmidt was before. I think he was with Joey Meyer. But Pat Kennedy came with Q and Lionel Simmons and those guys. And it never really took off again. And it's interesting to wonder why you couldn't field a good team. DePaul hasn't been into the NCAA tournament since 2004. I mean, it's 20 years. All right, you're in the heart of Chicago, best city in the world. All right, really pop a jumping neighborhood in Lincoln Park. A lot of bars, little clubs, restaurants, a whole bunch of things, especially with the NIL situation. I mean, it's a great place to go to college and play basketball. So why they haven't been able to become more relevant, I have no idea. They are in the Big East tournament. Big East conference. That I think is huge because of the fact that they're playing quality teams a lot. So I don't know. Yes. Joey did pass away last month. Yeah. We had a Tustin. We had the Tustin too. The Black and Dominican family. Dominicano, eh? And my man, the car got himself, Charles McDavid. What's up, Papa? Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. But yeah, so I would love for DePaul to be relevant again. I'd love for them to get to the tournament. I would love for them to be the hotbed of basketball. And whoever the next head coach is going to be, I hope he's able to bring them back. At least get them to the tournament. At least get them to the tournament once or twice. Okay. And I know why you went to the Big East. More money. Everything's about money. All right, but you're getting destroyed in the Big East. You may want to rethink about going to another conference where you can get conference wins. Okay, where you have a chance in the conference championship, conference tournament, so you get an automatic bid in case you don't get it with your record. There's a lot of work that needs to be done at DePaul. All right. And Tony Stubblefield was the last of the head coaches. Remember, Dave Lato I believe was before him, and his second stint. So there's a lot that needs to go on at DePaul. They need a resurgence. They need to go back to recruiting the city hard. Okay, and it's a tough thing to get Chicago kids to stay home, especially now when it's a one and done or two and done, and kids going to want to go to Kansas or Kentucky or North Carolina or something for a year or two before they bounce to the NBA. But that effort has to be there. You have to really drive home how important it is that Chicago kids stay home. Okay, stay here, stay U of I, stay at DePaul, Loyola. There's so much talent here. You could fill out all the colleges in town. Loyola, Northwestern, DePaul, Chicago State. There's so much talent just in the Chicagoland area alone, where you could field teams that are good and competitive. But we'll see. Hopefully, they're able to make DePaul basketball is able to make a comeback. The next topic, the Blackhawks travel to Seattle. Okay, for a date with the Kraken. I really like that name. I need to see they need to get a logo or a mascot, not the S. Like they need a Kraken. I think that would be dope. If for all you old heads like I am, if you remember Clash of the Titans, release the Kraken. I think they play that clip in at home games for the Seattle Kraken. That would be dope. That's dope. But they head out west, so on the left coast to face the Kraken tonight. Puck drop is 9:00 because it's the West Coast. 7:00 over there, 9:00 our time. That game's on TNT. That game's on TNT, or you can listen to it on their flagship 7:20 a.m. Next top of the morning topic, the Bulls. The Bulls travel tomorrow to Tinseltown. They go to L.A. to face the Lakers. Tip-off is 9:30 Central Time, 7:30 out west. That game is going to be on NBC Sports Chicago Plus because the Blackhawks play tomorrow as well. They're going to be on the main channel, NBC Sports Chicago. So the Bulls are going to be on NBC Sports Chicago Plus, or you can listen to the Bulls on their flagship station, 670 AM, or listen to the app, the Odyssey app or whatever, Odyssey app. That'll do it for them. Yep. Hold on. Pardon me. Oh. Let's see what's the next. So, the Bears officially, it's official. They've announced Luke Waldron as their new offensive coordinator. There was a press release yesterday announcing the hire, and there were no indications of a press conference. So Shane is in the process of filling out his staff right now, but they haven't said there's going to be a press conference, and for obvious reasons. Because if you get to question him, the majority of the questions are going to be, do you know who they're taking? Because everybody wants to know. And then they're going to say, would you prefer Justin Fields or Caleb Williams? So they haven't mentioned the press conference. And again, I understand why. I understand why. Oh, don't forget UIC Flames. That's where I worked. My bad, Charles. I did. You're right. I didn't say UIC. And UIC had some years back, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, maybe it's even 20, like closer to 20. The Banks brothers, the kids from Westinghouse. Remember Chris Head was he even the coach at at UIC? But they had those young men. They had those young men over there. Yeah, UIC. We have more than enough talent here in the city, the Chicagoland area, to field some quality teams. Yeah. You guys are funny. I'm looking at the comments. That's awesome. But now that Shane Waldron is the official offensive coordinator, he's in the process of filling out his staff. And we had talked about, next top of the morning topic, Luke Getsy not getting any interviews. Well, per the AP, Luke Getsy is scheduled to interview for the Raiders offensive coordinator position. This is per the AP. Interesting. I don't know if he gets it. I doubt he'll get it. But this is the first time we are hearing of him interviewing for a job. There have been a lot of other open positions, some other positions that have been available, and he wasn't invited to interview for none of them. I wish him well. I don't think he's a bad person. I just don't think he's a good offensive coordinator. And I think if he gets another shot, he definitely will learn from the mistakes, and he'll gain experience. That's all he can do. That's all he can do. So let's see. Next top of the morning topic. Oh yeah, this one hurts. This one hurts. The Brewers. Woo! The Brewers signed power hitting first baseman Rhys Hoskins to a 2-year, $34 million deal. And you ask, why do I give a damn what the Brewers do? Well, he was on the Cubs' radar. The Cubs were in play for him. They wanted him at first base. He missed all of last year when he tore his ACL in spring training. So the Brewers swooped in, signed him 2 years, 34 mil, 17 mil a year average. Is that, let me ask you this. Is that retaliation for Craig Counsell? Is that what that is? They knew he was on the Cubs' radar, so they swooped in with a huge deal. 17 mil a year, nice piece of change. Leaves the Cubs in a predicament. They need both corner spots occupied, a first baseman and a third baseman. I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised if that's exactly what happened. And not that he can't help their team. It's not like they went and got him and he can't help. No. But the Cubs he had been on their radar. And I think Milwaukee said, you know what? Let's go get him. Let's go get him. Junior, sure is retaliation. Cornelius, possible. Maybe the Raiders are setting up a play for Justin. I don't know. Be nice. What's up, Papa? Coming in or checking in from the left coast. Good morning, baby. I appreciate you checking in. Thank you, sir. Charles, I will. We'll see. Teams will do that, though. They might be a little salty, so they said, hey, here's who you want on the field, a player. Let's go get him. So, I guess all's fair in love and war, huh? All's fair in love and war. Well, listen, here's what we're going to do. Let's take a quick break. And on the other side of the break, we're going to talk a little basketball, little hoops, little Bulls. Okay? Because don't forget, at the top of the hour, my man Evan Winters from A to Z Sports is going to join us talking Bears. So we have that. So don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
Time out. How are you feeling right now? Happy? Excited? Angry? Overwhelmed? One of the best things you can do for your mind health is to name what you're feeling. It can sharpen your awareness and help you talk about your feelings with someone you trust. Here are 3 questions to ask yourself. Where are your thoughts right now? In the past, the present, the future? Do you notice any sensations in your body? Is your heart beating fast? Is there a flutter in your stomach? Or are you fully relaxed? What do you need right now? Time with others? Time to yourself? Remember, there's power in this awareness. So find ways to identify what you're feeling today.
Hi, guys. Hey. Hi, Megan. Hey, Jessica. Megan, you're a tramp. Brian Fitch told me you guys made out. Everybody knows. He said your breath smells like garbage. And he almost puked. He says you're the most desperate girl he knows, besides your mom. How many boyfriends does she have anyway? Lots? Your makeup makes you look like a clown. That zit is huge, zit face. Ugly.
bud, what you doing?
I'm playing with cars.
Cars? Can you show me what a car does? Whoa. Hold on a second. First of all, this is a school zone. So you need to put down your cell phone, stop texting, and let's get to driving. Now you're coming up to a stop sign, right? You need to slow down and stop before you hit that Y line. I want you to look left, right, left. You don't want to get hit by a car going on your left, and to your right to make sure you don't get sideswiped by a guy coming from your right. You're coming, and you see a crosswalk. You better slow your horses down, because the #1 rule of driving is always yield to pedestrians. Now stop, pull over, and you are done driving. Gosh, what do they teach you kids in school nowadays?
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
Yeah, hello. I'm really not sure if this is what you all do, but I really don't have anywhere else to turn.
Hi. I don't even know why I'm calling right now. I'm sorry. My thoughts are going a mile a minute.
My kids are out of state. My buddies from the army are all gone now. I'm really alone.
I left the service last year. My mom just passed away a few months ago. I miss so much time with her. I keep getting calls about the bills, and I'm trying to get a job, but I feel so stuck.
Okay, ma'am. I'm glad you called.
Okay, sir. Let's stay on the line and walk through some things.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
We are looking for a few heroes, mentors, trailblazers, innovators. A passion to change lives, spark curiosity, open hearts, and awaken minds. Help students answer the question, who am I? This could be your calling, but this is no job. It's the journey of a lifetime. Be a hero. Be a teacher.
Every day we take steps to keep the people we love safe, but some health risks are easy to miss. Ticks hiding in the yard can spread germs, like the ones that cause Lyme disease. Mice searching for food can spread bacteria that makes us sick. Mosquitoes lay eggs in standing water and can spread West Nile virus and more. Cockroaches are drawn to water in the home, leaving behind allergens that can trigger asthma attacks. Common pests can threaten our health. Learn how to protect your family at pestworld.org.
Mental health and learning disorders don't discriminate. 17 million children and adolescents in the United States live with disorders like anxiety, depression, ADHD, and dyslexia. Less than half get the help they need to thrive. Help the Child Mind Institute change these children's lives. Visit childmind.org.
Accelerates into traffic, draws the defense, finds Williams. Bang, bang, bang. Some really good games this past week. White blows by him, though. Drummond the tap out. Sets the screen instead. Io just gets plenty of free space to easily put that in. Again, that's Williams. DeMar drives. DeMar to the rim for two.
Storing away these games that you're supposed to win.
Carter to DeRozan with the scoop. Speaking of wins, the man crew on TNT. He thought he was talking with like the local broadcast. Yeah. And then he heard Shaquille O'Neal's voice as White puts down storylines at the beginning of the year. You're starting to see it now. Good defense. Terry to Carter to cap off the night. You got
Terry with the peel out right there.
Welcome back to Shawn and I in the morning at Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of NBC Sports Chicago. The Bullies are doing well. The Bullies are doing well. I like this. I like what they're doing. I like the team. Zach's hurt again. And I know he's not hurt intentionally, but it seems like he's buying in. I think he saw the writing on the wall. All right, nobody wants him. Nobody wants him. No one would trade for him. Nobody. I mean, remember, he was out for what, 6 weeks, 8 weeks with inflammation? Come on, dude. There's no inflammation that lasts 6 to 8 weeks. None. Okay? They were trying to find a trade partner, and nobody wanted him. Bottom line. He comes back. Seems like he's bought in. And that's the most important thing. Can you buy in? Will you buy in? Are you willing to give up your numbers, your touches of the ball to make this team better? To this point, it seems like he has. Now he's hurt again. So I don't know. But the one guy that I'm really excited about is Kobe White. Kobe White is really, really, really you talk about taking a step forward. You talk about becoming a superstar. Let me take that back. I'm not a superstar. I misspoke. Talk about becoming a star. Kobe White is becoming a star. Okay? He's becoming a star. The confidence that he has now, and see, this is the thing that people don't understand. Remember, Kobe came out as after his freshman year at North Carolina. He played 1 year of college ball. You can't tell me that he was developed. He wasn't. You've got to, with young talent, you've got to develop it. With young talent, you've got to allow them to fail. You have to encourage them to fail. Understand and have them understand the process that this is part of success. In this microwave society that we live in, they expect a guy who's away from home for 1 year in college to come here and be fully developed, to be come on. And in case you didn't know, I mean, boys develop slower than women. It takes us a lot longer to develop and mature than it does for women. So you're getting a 19-year-old kid coming out. He hasn't gone into his body. Okay. He's away from home for the first time. Now he's in the big city. Now he's got millions of dollars at his disposal. And you know, he broke the North Carolina state record for points. He broke Michael Jordan's record. So, you know, he's not playing a lot of defense. It's score, 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 and you got to change that mentality. So we can't expect these kids, these young men, to understand the game fully. It's going to take a while. You know, we saw what happened with Lauri Markkanen. I think his was more just being injured. Now he's an all-star for somebody else, for Utah. We had him in our building. We had him for what, 3 years, 4 years? Lauri would be a perfect fit for this system that Billy Donovan runs. But Kobe White is garnering a lot of respect throughout the league. And I love it. And he deserves it. He deserves it. You know, a lot of hours, a lot of time put in from this young man. And that's the knock on from my generation to this generation. They don't work hard enough. Well, I don't think that applies to Kobe. Matter of fact, I know it doesn't apply to Kobe because he's added something to his game. He's improved his three-point shooting year after year. He's grown into a leader. He's grown into a leader. And the confidence that he has, it's beautiful watching him, watching the ball movement around the horn. He gets it in the corner, fires up a three, leaves his hand up there, and splashes that shot. We love it. But he's doing more than that. He's directing this offense. He's aggressive to the hole. See, the one thing that I like the one thing that I like about Kobe is his aggressiveness, but it's his intelligence that I like. Because there's a way to be aggressive and be out of control, as opposed to being aggressive under control. You know, you see Kobe, there's a lot of times. How many times do we see people take charges? All right, people always take a charge, whether they flop or not, whatever. But what Kobe does is what old school players used to do. They drive, and they see someone taking a charge, and it'll pop straight up. They're in front of them, will come down right in front of them. Smart basketball. You don't have to take the layup. You could take a 3-foot jumper, a 4-foot jumper, 6-foot jumper. You don't have to get to the cup because people are always stepping up to take charges. He's doing small things like that, which one, garner 2 points, but two, keeps him out of foul trouble. His basketball IQ, in my opinion, has grown since he's got to the league. And I want to credit Billy Donovan for helping him, Mo Cheeks for helping him, but also someone like Alex Caruso. I think is a guy who's really, really influential for him. You know, Kobe's playing defense more. You see him rebounding more. He'll get 4, 6 rebounds a game from a point guard. Come on, man. That's good. That's really good. That's really good. So I don't know where this team's going to go. I presume they're going to make the playoffs, but how deep to the playoffs do they go? I don't know. I don't think they'll be in the play, and I think they'll get to the playoffs. But is that what you want? Is that what we want as Bulls fans, for them to get to the playoffs? Like, okay, they'll be out in the first round. All right. There's some things that we need to do here. We have to do something. And I'm telling you, if Zach comes back and continues to play the way he did, we got something here. I say that our ceiling could be winning our first round of the playoffs. I think that's our ceiling, losing in the second round. So what are we going to do? Because you have a team that can make the playoffs, but you don't have a team that can win the NBA championship. Not even close. Not even close. So you're stuck in purgatory. You're not bad enough to get a lottery pick. You're not good enough to win a title. Where are you at? Some changes need to happen. Some changes need to happen. But I will say this. As these changes happen, you're going to start to see Kobe White become more and more dominant. I think Andre Drummond, And I love Andre Drummond. He's a walking double-double. He just got to corral it sometimes. Sometimes he just gets out of control. But, dude, this guy comes in. He'll get you 15 and 12. No time. P. Will. Patrick Williams is really grown. He's really matured. His nuts have dropped, so to speak. Like he's not asking for permission anymore. He's realizing he's good. And I've been on him for years. Like, stop deferring to DeMar and Zach. Start playing basketball the way you know how to play basketball. And he has. And I love it. I love it. Because this kid is good. I'm telling you, you give me 12 to 16 points a game, 6 to 10 rebounds, somewhere in there, 6, 7, 8, 9, somewhere in there, 6 to 8, 6 to 9 rebounds a game. I'm good with that. But you also have to make sure that you're aggressive. You also have to make sure that you're rebounding. You also have to make sure that you're playing defense. I'm talking to Patrick Williams. But I like where he's playing. I like his level of engagement now. I like it. We have talent. We have pieces. So if Zach comes back, we have a chance to get to the second round. We do. He's shown he's willing to compromise. He's shown he's willing to do that for this team. All right. I'll tell you, you get him up, running up and down the court. Come on, man. That's what we want. The kid, the young man is still so young and athletic. I know it seems like he's like 27, 28. He's like in the middle of his prime. He could be a huge part of this team. He could be a big factor in this team getting out of the first round and causing trouble in the second round. A big, big factor. He's just got to buy in. And to this point, since he came back from his original injury, from his inflammation, seems like he's buying in. And I was wondering, that was my biggest concern. Like, okay, DeMar DeRozan bought in. Remember, he was out for a while too. And DeMar DeRozan came back and was like, okay, I'll play Billy ball. But then Zach was out, and we didn't know they were trying to trade him. We didn't know if he'd be willing to do that, and he has. Hats off to him. Because if you want to stay here in Chicago, this is what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to buy in. And it seems like he has. I don't know. Like I said, they're going to Tinseltown tomorrow to face the Lakers. Is LeBron playing? AD playing? You know, I don't know if we can claim AD anymore because he's a Packers fan. Wasn't he at the game the other day? Yeah, I think he was at the game. Really? It's Packers gear. I think we just own him. I don't think we claim his ass anymore. So is he playing tonight? I mean, tomorrow night? I don't know. We'll see. What I find interesting with the Bulls or this Lakers team, they're struggling. You win an in-season tournament, and then you're struggling. So you got that extra $500,000 per player. Struggling. See where they at here. 22 and 23. But you're the in-season champions. That they are, my people. That they are in the inaugural in-season tournament champions, Los Angeles Lakers. Undefeated. That's out of control. I can't. Then they had the unveiling banner ceremony, like for real? Dude, it's you saw the video of Kobe where we talked about we don't put up division championships. We don't do that. And it seems like that's what they did. And I get it. It's the first one you want. Really? Really? In-season tournament champions? You could just put that in the press release or, you know, the PR book that they give out at the beginning of the year or something. Add it to your letterhead or something. You had to have a banner raising ceremony for it. I don't know. Well, listen, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break. And on the other side of the break, we're going to welcome my guy, Evan Winter. Talk a little Bears. Talk a little Bears with Evan Winter. He knows a little bit about Shane Waldron. We're going to get his thoughts on this man. So I'm looking forward to it. So don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
To run for 17, back he goes, here comes Chubb, there goes the ball, touchdown! Jones will walk at the left tackle, time for Fields, now he'll accelerate to get the first down, great tackles, and he's off to the races, and we got a terrific block.
For every generation, it has started with the call to serve. Discovering the purpose and the belonging earned with the title. Learning to dig deep and push through adversity together. Defending our nation and its people. It is a life of great worth and reward. But Marines are never really finished serving. Their commitment comes full circle, visible in communities across our country. This is Semper Fidelis, always faithful, always Marine, marking a path for the next generation.
So I've come up with the family emergency plan.
Great. What is it?
It's difficult to talk about, so I'm not telling you.
How will we know what to do?
You won't.
I'm so glad I won't have to remember anything.
And me too. Thanks for this, sweetie.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Search Ready Kids at nyc.gov or call 311.
This year, my mom got me the perfect bag for back to school.
These colorful binders help me stay organized.
These headphones are just what I need for studying.
These new sneakers are just what I need for the new year.
This jacket is a real must-have.
My parents got me the skateboard I wanted. It's pretty cool.
These scissors really come in handy in art class. These colored pencils, too.
These new socks? They can be a real lifesaver.
I finally got my own phone to stay in touch with my mom.
3rd and 6. Love floats one deep, a trip to Dobbs, and there's a penalty on the play.
My play call from their coverage look.
3rd down, blitz is coming. Purdy has it blocked. Floating one downfield for Kittle. He's got it. Touchdown, San Francisco. It's Love. Couple fakes going wide open in the end zone. It is melted as he gets the feet down. He is touchdown. McCaffrey scores! 49ers in front. We need at least 25 yards. Love. Pressure up the middle. Runs away. Throws across his body. And that is picked. 49ers have it. Greenlaw. Still up. He needs to get down. Greenlaw still on his feet.
He's got to go down.
Just go down and the game's over.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Let's get courtesy of Fox, and Greenlaw's like, no, I'm taking this shit to the house. He's taking it to the house. He wanted it. He wanted a house call, but he should have got down. But luckily for him, it didn't work. It didn't come back to bite him in the butt. So that was for the right to go to the NFC Championship game. And you know what? I'm hoping that our Bears are in that situation in the next couple of years, probably 25. So we know they just hired the new offensive coordinator. And my first guest is going to talk about this guy. I like this guy a lot. Well, Evan, no, but I also like this offensive coordinator as well because of the versatility that he's had. He's worked with under a lot of different coaches. All right, and he's been able to kind of bring the best out in them. And there's a quick thing by Greg Gabriel where he said, all right, he's a complete package as a teacher. And that's important to me. Teacher, leader, and team guy, plus he shreds defenses. All right. Guys, how many times have you heard me tell you coaching is another word for teaching? It's nothing but teaching. That's all coaching is. Okay. He has that reputation. I'm really, really, really excited. So we're going to talk about it with my next guy here. He's the managing editor over at A to Z Sports. You can find him on Twitter at Evan_ATOZ, A to Z. Guys, let's bring him back. Evan Winter. Evan, what's up, Papa? Good morning.
What's up, Shawn? Hope it's all going well and up in your side of the world.
Except the civil war that's going on between Bear fans. It's good. It's fine.
It's that this is the time of year. This is Civil War time for all fan bases, unless you're part of the Final Four. But yeah, there's fan bases can always find something to pick one side on. So it's that time of year.
Dude, it's crazy. If you disagree with drafting Caleb, you know you're a pedophile. Need to be burned in hell. And if you disagree with the Justin stance, you're a pedophile. Need to burn in hell. Like everybody, like you get death threats over here. It's like, dude, it's relax. It's not that. It's crazy. It's literally. And people calling you, you're a clown for not, you're an idiot for not doing it. Like, oh, so my opinion, crazy over here. All Caleb and Fields, which is the one. So you said you're familiar with Shane Waldron.
Yeah,
Talk
man.
to me about him.
Yeah, I think it's a great hire. So I did a lot of Waldron research earlier because, as you know, not sure how many of your listeners know, but and viewers know, but the Bucs are my primary beat. I've been following them since 2018. And when they hired Dave Canales, who was Seattle's quarterbacks coach for the last few years, this past offseason, I did some digging on Waldron to see who he is and blah, 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 so on and so forth. So, yeah, I got a pretty decent little taste of him. Man, I love the hire. First off, just directly from my own experience and knowledge, what he molded in Dave Canales might get a head coaching job this offseason, which I don't personally think he's ready for it. That's nothing against him. I just, it takes time to develop that stuff. Regardless, the Panthers are interviewing him or have interviewed him for a second time already. I mean, there's legit interest in there. And plus he worked with Dan Morgan in Seattle. So anyways, Waldron's already got a track record of molding coaches and putting coaches in good positions to succeed and teaching them the right things, just like what you were talking about. And then you also look at how he's trying to possibly bring in other former Seahawks coaches with him onto the staff. That's huge. That's going to create continuity. That's going to create a base system for the offense and everything like that. But when researching him about Dave Canales, like you said, he's worked with great coaches. I mean, Bill Belichick, Mike Shanahan, Kyle Shanahan, and then Pete Carroll. I mean, it doesn't really get much better than that in terms of, your mentors as the guys on top of the coaching staffs. And then when you look at Waldron, though, overall in terms of his offense, so there are two kind of worrisome worrisome areas over the last 3 years. And one of them's third down percentage, which I will offset that here in a second. And the other one's red zone conversion percentage, which that's a little bit dicier. But anyways, with the third down percentage, the Seahawks, I think, only averaged like a 38% conversion rate on third down over the last 3 years, but they were top 5 in early down success rate. So your first and second downs, they were ahead of the change. They stayed ahead of schedule. Whereas, as we saw with Luke Getsy over the last couple of years, the Bears were sometimes they were ahead of schedule, but most of the time they weren't. And they had to fight and claw to get their way out of the hole, whatever it might be. So a lot of times they didn't get out of the hole, or they had to rely on Justin Fields to just make a spectacular play to get them back on track, on schedule. So Shane Waldron, in terms of his early down play calling, is magnificent. And with Justin Fields or Caleb Williams or maybe even Drake May, who knows, whoever is quarterback in 2023 or 2024 will have the chance to stay ahead of the chains, which can only lead to more success, I would think, at least.
Yeah, and that's the one thing, and you're right. When you're ahead of the sticks, it makes it a lot easier. And one of the issues we had was we weren't. Right, we'd have a stupid run, or we'd have a pass downfield on first down, and look, okay, now it's second and long, and then we have a run, they stop it, now it's second, it's 3rd and 9. Like there was the play calling last year was so frustrating, and it really put us behind the sticks oftentimes. I'm glad that he's early. He has early down success, all right, because that opens up the whole playbook, and that's going to allow Justin Fields or Caleb Williams or whoever to work, 3rd and medium, 3rd and short, and those are a lot more, because now you can still have a big, a wide variety of options if it's 3rd and 3, 3rd and 2, right, as opposed to 3rd and 7. So that's awesome. What about one of the things we heard a Seattle radio guy saying he's not a leader of men, he would never be a head coach. Give me your thoughts on that, because I didn't know him, and I'm trying to figure out, but a radio call they had it on one of the radio stations here. Someone was saying, he's just not he's good at what he does. He's just not a leader of men.
Yeah, that's interesting. And you got to wonder about that, because one thing that is Dave Canales' strengths is he's a really good leader. I mean, he knows how to talk to his guys. And granted, he's not going to be, somebody who gets all up in somebody's butt and like chews them out. He'll chew people out, but he's not going to like dog cuss somebody or, just make them feel this tall. He's very positive, very uplifting. That's kind of his leadership way or form, whatever word you want to use. So he obviously had to learn that from somewhere. Now, granted, a lot of your natural leadership skills often come within, but I do think Waldron does. He might not be a leader of men in the coaching staff, which is a concern. That would be a concern, because you want your guys to listen. You want your guys to respect you. You want your guys to believe in what you're saying and, follow you through the worst of times and the best of times. Maybe he just imparts more of that on his position coaches, and that allows them to form kind of that bond, that leadership, and take that. But that is definitely, I personally have not heard much on that, but that's just because I haven't really looked at that. And obviously somebody in Seattle would be closer to that. That's definitely a concern, though. If you ask me, I would be a little concerned about that.
Guys, we're joined by Evan Winter from A to Z Sports, talking Bears football here on Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. I when I heard that, it reminded me of there's always going to be some jamoke.
Yeah,
right? There's always going to be, right. And especially if it's a radio guy, because we have tons of radio guys here who are idiots. All right. You have tons of guys here who are shock jocks. Right. You have guys here who are just contrarian. All right. And just never have a good thing to say because they know negativity sells. So I take that with a grain of salt, because my thought is this. I find it difficult to believe that he's not a leader of men, and yet the quarterbacks that he's worked with have had some of the best years of their career.
Right.
So that's why I take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah, and he's had consistent success too. Yeah. I mean, you tell the one thing, and now Seattle's offensive line this year was an absolute disaster, but he mitigated a lot of that by his early down play calling. He was able to get the team in good positions and, and still work with what he had. And the key thing is whether he has Justin Fields or Caleb Williams or even Drake May. Even Drake May's got some mobility to him. Obviously, Justin and Caleb are way more mobile and can actually run and make plays with their legs. But what he did with Russell Wilson in 2021, even though Russell Wilson statistically, I mean, he had 25 touchdowns, 6 interceptions that year. Obviously the touchdowns weren't the 40 a year he was throwing before that, but he made it very efficient. And the one time that they did have red zone success under Waldron was 2021. I think they were like 4th or something. They were elite in the red zone that year. And it was because Russell Wilson could still run a little bit. So just what the Bears are going to have at their disposal with Waldron and the fact that he can overcome a bad offensive line. The Bears have a bad offensive line, but, they're, let's say, probably average at best. He can mitigate a lot of that, and he can turn it into a lot of success. And I think a big reason why he had that red zone success was because of Russell Wilson's legs. So having a quarterback, and Geno Smith, he can move, but his legs aren't his weapon, his main weapon, right? Like, he's not known for his legs. So having Fields or Williams or both, I think that could really help mitigate the lack of red zone success they had 2 out of the last 3 years. But overall, man, yeah, I would the whole it makes sense because I remember a 49ers radio guy saying a while back they signed Chris Conley. Veteran wide receiver Chris Conley has like 15 catches over the last 3 years. This radio guy said back in the summer that when the 49ers signed him, it meant they were about to trade Brandon Ayuk. Just like, what? I was like, they just signed a guy who's been on the practice squad for like the last 2 years, and they're going to trade Brandon Ayuk. Yeah, so you're right. Shock jocks, yeah, take it with a grain of salt all the time. So it does make me wonder, but at the same time, yeah, I love it. I love the hire. I think he's a great play caller. He's learned from a lot of great coaches, and he has a system, and it's a modern system too. And the one thing I think we can now officially say about Packers assistant coaches is that they just don't come from the same mold as Shanahan or McVay, because Nathaniel Hackett, Luke Getsy just fell flat on their faces, and it's because they didn't call plays, whereas Waldron actually has play calling experience.
And that's huge. To me, that's really, really huge, the fact that he has play calling experience, because you saw, with the last regime or the last offensive coordinator, his inability to make in-game adjustments. His script, the first 15 were awesome. But the ability of a coach is to be able to make changes on the fly. All right. And when you make adjustments, they have to come out. You have to make adjustments when they make adjustments, and to counter their adjustments. And he wasn't able to do that. So, last question before we let you go. I know you got to run, Papa. Talking about his run scheme. I know he uses a lot of tight end, 12 and 13 personnel. He has, I've seen tight ends in the backfield and things like that, which kind of got me a little excited. Talk to me about the run game and his method there.
Yeah, so it's zone scheme. Spreading the offensive line out, or the defense out horizontally rather. And then, yeah, he uses a lot of play action pass. He's one of those coaches who I don't know if Getsy did this exactly, but, Matt LaFleur does this. Shanahan, McVay, they do this, but they run a lot of different plays out of the same looks. So, yeah, you might come out there 12, 13 personnel, but all of a sudden it's a play action pass with DK on a go route, and he just all of a sudden got single coverage because everybody's in the box because they had 3 tight ends in on the field. Right. And then boom, all of a sudden you've got an explosive down the field. So, yeah, I love the way he mixes and matches his tight ends, and especially with Cole Kmet, his ability in the open field and just being an athletic guy. I would really, really recommend, obviously the Seahawks have their tight ends, but their tight ends just weren't very good this year. It kind of affected their offense a little bit. Go back and watch, though, how the Bucs used Cade Otton over these last 6 to 7 weeks, and even Payne Durham to an extent, and you'll get really excited. He puts tight ends in, like, if he gets another athletic tight end opposite Kmet, this offense is going to be unreal, man. It's going to be so much fun to watch because, yes, he puts them in motion. He'll line them up in the slot. He'll even put them out on the perimeter sometimes if it's an athletic enough guy. Put them in the backfield, and then it just creates all these different mismatches to where a safety all of a sudden is on your slot receiver or a linebacker, and the concepts are always a lot of fun, and they're modernized, and they know how to take advantage of today's rules. And the key thing too is Justin Fields is going to be throwing to a spot a lot of times. Now, granted, there are defensive coordinators, Mike McDonald of the Ravens, who know how to game plan against that. But that's what you want ultimately, especially with a guy like Fields, is you want that timing, you want that rhythm, you want those designated pre-reads with a hot. So if that's not there, boom, you can check it down real quick. Just always making the quarterback's life easy. And that's Shane Waldron in a nutshell.
Dude, you got me fired up, Papa. You got me fired up. Hey, listen, before we let you go, do me a favor, let everyone know where they can find you and your work online.
Yeah, find the work online at A2ZSports.com. Obviously, it's the offseason with the Final Four, so we got a lot going on there right now. And then you can find me on Twitter at Evan_ATOZ.
Excellent, Papa. I appreciate you coming out. We'll talk soon.
Yes, sir. You have it. Take care.
All righty. Guys, that's Evan Winter from A to Z Sports, hopping on a little bit. You know, the one thing he said, which was really, really cool, and Brandon, you alluded to it right now, jokingly, but you're not joking, you're serious. All right. Is a lot of plays out of the same look. All right. You run 3 or 4 or 5 different plays with the same personnel, the same look. That's tough. That's tough. That's really tough for a defense. I'll tell you from my own experience as a defensive coordinator, when teams would do that, that gave us, man, I had to find patterns and habits from offensive coordinators when they ran, you know, what part of the field, what down, you know what I mean? When they would run things out of the same look. And it's hell. It's hell for a defensive coordinator because they come out in 12 personnel. All right. And what if one of the you know, you keep both tight ends in the block. Okay. And the next one, maybe they're both released. Next one, maybe one releases. All right. There's a lot of different looks, and the ability to do that and be successful is going to, and one of the things that's awesome is like it might not just be the same look, just might be the same personnel. So now you might be able to remember, if you keep the same personnel, the offense keeps the same personnel, and defense might not get a chance to sub. All right, you could catch them in the middle of a substitution for a quick 5, you know, a quick penalty for 5 yards. All right, so if the offense subs, then the defense gets a chance to substitute as well, and the ball cannot be snapped. The official will go right behind the center, stand between the center and the quarterback, let the defense change, get their substitution in as well. Okay. Cornelius, you know it. That's it. That's it. I've been saying that forever. Okay. Yep, especially when you change the look. You get the defense guessing only to run the same play for leverage. You know, one of the my head coach at Curie, Tyson LeBlanc, big shout out to Tyson. Inside zone was our staple. Inside zone was our staple run. I mean, hell, we had a 6'1", 225-pound running back, so it was who could move, who ran about a 4.5. Out of every single formation, 11 personnel, 12 personnel, 13 personnel, 22 personnel, 21 personnel, you name it, we ran inside zone from everything. All right, we brought in 4 wides, like the run and shoot inside zone. All right, 21 personnel, inside zone. Fullback will go block the kick out the backside end. All right, there's so many. I mean, there's just so many different things in his ability. It was really, really, really fun that year, 2010 to 2011. All right, so with this guy, and I guess I was telling Evan, like you've seen some of the quarterbacks that he's worked with have their best year statistically. And that's what I want. I want them to teach Justin. And I truly think they're going to keep Justin. Okay. Obviously, Ryan Poles hasn't got back to me yet. Called him, said, hey, RP, what are we doing with the first pick? So he hasn't got back to me yet. But when he does, I'll let you know. But I told you why I think the Bears are going to trade that pick. I told you. If you missed it, well, I'll tell you again. You have to understand, Caleb Williams is from the D.C. area. My college teammate was his high school coach. I'm trying to get him on. He might be on Friday or sometime next week, Randy. And he's from the DC area. And what better way? Now, mind you, they just fired their staff. They're kind of in flux, in disarray. They just got rid of their owner, Dan Snyder. Part of that team, that ownership team. He understands marketing. He understands marketing. So you get Caleb Williams back with Washington. The hometown boy comes home to resurrect this franchise and bring it back to prominence. Think about, he was on, yes, B, he was. You know what's really funny is he was on Friday. And on my show on Friday, as I said last week, I'm like, oh, I'm going to get Randy on. And he had already booked him on Friday. I was like, oh, you sons of bitches. And then I called him right after. I'm like, bro, so how are you going to go on there? And he goes, oh, they just called. And I was like, and I told him, I said, I was thinking of having you on. And he's like, well, whenever. So he's got to let me know. He had a busy schedule this week. I forgot what they were doing. Yeah, my guy. This is my guy. Like, we went to spent time at his house my senior year. Yeah, over Easter break. I couldn't fly home. It was too much to fly home. So he's like, just come down to Maryland with me. He was from Silver Spring. So, man, fell in love with his mom and dad. His family is just awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So, yeah, he was. But that's my dude. And, yeah, it was, dude. It was, let me tell you something. It was awesome. And, you know, when you get people who are successful like that, and it's funny because funny story, he wanted me to move out there to coach with him. He wanted me to move out because he was in Florida when I went to go visit him in Florida. And when he got the job there, he asked me if I wanted to go and teach over there and, coach with him. And I was like, yeah, I think I'm done moving. I think I'm, So here's a picture of my guy Randy. This is from, now mind you, he's about 5'5". He's a short dude. All right, so don't think Caleb Williams is 6'8". He's not. He's not. But that's my guy Randy Trivers. This was last year when they were in New York, obviously when Caleb won the Heisman. And it was real when I saw it was really funny when I saw the school that he went to. They talk about high school stuff. They show some, like, wait a minute. And so during that Heisman presentation, I text Randy. I'm like, "Are you in New York?" And then he sent me that picture. I was like, "Oh, dude, that's crazy. That's crazy." So, yeah, I'll get him on and we'll talk about Caleb. And I already told him, I was like, look, I said, I'm pro Justin. All right. I'm pro Justin. I wanted, and one of the things that I need to get across to people is because I'm pro Justin, because people are pro Justin, doesn't mean you're anti Caleb. That's the one thing that people get crazy about. Oh, and vice versa. If you're pro Caleb, doesn't mean you're anti Justin. Because if you're smart, you have to understand both sides of the coin. Right? You have to understand why it might be best to keep Justin. The continuity in the locker room, taking their leader, the way he leads that team, the way they follow him, the great plays he's made, inconsistent, but the great plays he's made, the fundamentals that haven't been drilled home with Justin. Okay, then I could see Caleb Williams. All right, people talk about reset the clock. All right, people start talking about more money gets deferred because now he's on a 5-year deal most likely. So you don't have to pay big time bucks until after the 5 years. So I understand it. So we have to understand it. And it's a preference. It's a preference. What you would like over somebody else. Yeah, either one's going to be a good choice. All right, but here's the thing that I have an issue with. When you throw stats at me, when you throw stats at me to back up your point, you're done. I don't respect you. I don't respect you when you throw stats out at me. Just don't. Well, the red zone percentage and this and his completion. You're playing against college kids. Caleb Williams has not taken a snap in the NFL. So you can't compare the two. And when people talk about, well, Justin's a big if. It was a battle on Twitter yesterday. They're going after my guy, Herb Howard. They're saying, I can't listen to Herb. He's on CHGO. Too emotional about Justin. No facts. I'm trying to find it. And it was like, wait a minute. Like, how can you, you sit there and you say, he's emotional. I'm like, wait a minute. Here it is. Yeah, it's impossible to listen to Herb on CHGO when he talks about field. All emotion, all speculation, no facts or logic. And so this dude, I'm like, so there's no emotion when people talk about Caleb, quote unquote, the best quarterback since Andrew Luck. Sounds like speculation to me because no one knows what he's going to be. Where are the facts that Caleb Williams is, quote unquote, the best quarterback? Where's the logic that he'll be great? Did he win a national title? No. I said, hell, Andre Ware won a Heisman because I knew that's. And then I went on and said, listen, let me tell you a secret. Shh. This is all speculation. But there are some things that people who played and or coached the game can see that many can't see that gives a better indication of possible success. But even that's not 100%. I said, just say you don't like Justin Fields and move on. Okay? Just say that. Don't throw stats at me. All right? Don't throw stats at me because, you do something like that, it tells me that you're not watching the game. And if you throw T's 10 and 28, you're definitely cut off. Shady McCoy, I've never have it. I tell you, I don't give a damn if you played in the league. When you hang your hat on 10 and 28, and here's the funniest part. Just because guys played in the league doesn't mean they're able to evaluate talent. If you don't believe me, let me ask you a question. How long have you been speaking English? Can you teach English to somebody? Can you? No. Could you go into a class and teach English? No. So just because guys played the game, doesn't mean they're a good evaluator of talent. And they get players because people think, well, he played, so he has to know. Okay, no, you don't. Because some people play the game but can't teach it or don't understand it. Some people are so good at what they do, they can't really explain it. So when you back things up, don't just use stats because then you're a stat boy. When you give examples, I forgot last season, the Justin Fields pass to Caleb Williams to Velus Jones. He was running; it was like a deep out. He threw it over to over the corner's shoulder. Velus slid. It was toward the end of the season. Velus slid, caught the ball, slid out of bounds. Or when he's rolling backward, he's backing up to his left. and hits, I don't know if it was Jesse James against the Pittsburgh Steelers, I want to say. Throws the ball just outside the outstretched arms of B. When you start giving examples, that's what I'm talking about. Don't give me about stats. He's this, he's that. Because if that's the case, then what happened is, then you should say Lamar Jackson had a shitty game this past weekend. He only had 150 yards passing and 100 yards rushing. See, what people don't get, and this is why I tell you don't give me stats. The bottom line is winning. The fact that we haven't had a 4,000-yard passer, I need Justin to be fourth. No, you don't. So what if Justin gets 3,647 yards and they win a Super Bowl? Are you still pissed because he's not a 4,000-yard passer? The bottom line is wins. Now, it's not stats. There's one stat that's important. Did you win or not? That's what's important. And many people say, well, I want one of those guys. You know what? Ask Dan Marino how important stats are. Ask him. Ask Dan Marino how important stats are. For the longest time before Peyton broke it, he had the most passing yards in the NFL. Super Bowls, boop, 1 appearance, 0 titles. So when you're sitting there talking about who gives us the best chance to win, and I get it, I'm with you. I'm with you. You want to see Justin drive down the field, a game-winning drive for a touchdown and put it in the end zone. I get it. I get it. I do too. Give him a chance. Give him a chance. Because the leap that this team's going to take from 23 to 24, I think is going to be whoever it is. I mean, if it's Justin, yeah, the leap's going to be pretty big. The leap's going to be pretty big. And what other first-round quarterbacks have won a Super Bowl? I know you just had Matthew Stafford and Patrick Mahomes. Before that, you got to go all the way back to the Mannings. I get these people. It's funny. You know, people, it's funny to listen. This is why I understand, like, people don't get it. You know, it's when you say that, and I've never from saying Justin needs to improve. Never. He has flaws. He needs to address those. He needs to do better. All right. He's got that's for whatever reason, that's a shot in the seam seems to be his Achilles heel. He doesn't hit that as much as he could and should. And other people, you know, and you know, we talked about it last time, his drop, his footwork, all that stuff it's terrible. So some guys just like, well, it's now you're putting the blaming on the coaching. Yeah. Yeah. Players don't develop themselves. Now they can help themselves. And I said it last week or on Monday. I said, I think Justin should go get a quarterback coach. If he doesn't have one, he needs to work. He needs a guy to say, hey, listen, your drop sucks. But maybe Shane Waldron is going to be that guy to say, hey, listen, I've watched your drops. They suck. Here's what we need to do. Because that dropping your left foot first was horrible. Why Getsy did that, I have no idea. No idea. You know, with Caleb Williams, I think he's an electric player. I do. And I think he'll have a long, long career in the NFL. At the expense of the Bears and this team where it's at, I don't know if that's the best idea. I don't know. You know, people, again, you're not going to hear me say bad things about Caleb. I think the guy's a phenomenal talent. Cornelius, I agree with you. I never believed that Caleb Williams is higher than Justin Fields. All right, that's and to say that is not a diss to Caleb Williams, because I think Justin Fields' ceiling is high. And I gave you the analogy of the Ferrari. It has to be maximized. You have to push it. That's what Aaron did. He believed that was the perfect way to do it. I'm not sure what you mean, James. Aaron Rodgers? You know, for me, it is coaching. Now, when you go from one good coach to another, and remember, let me tell you something. When you have a good coach, you know when you have a good coach. And if that coach leaves, you're still going to have a lot of the traits and a lot of the things that he taught etched in your brain. There's still going to be some of their teachings that aren't going to go anywhere. It's just not going to be the constant day-to-day enforcing of those things. So, oh, the drop back. Okay. Yeah, well, you know what? Aaron Rodgers is a first ballot Hall of Famer. And it worked for him. That's like asking someone to shoot like Jamal Wilkes. If you remember Jamal Wilkes, I don't know how old you are, James. Jamal Wilkes from the Los Angeles Lakers, the Showtime Lakers. He had the most awkward shot. Bill Cartwright. He believed that was a perfect way to do it. Yeah. So there's so many different things that, you know, because for me, I want this haul. I want the haul of picks. All right. We showed you what we got last year. All right. We showed you what that first pick did for us. The trading of the first round pick. We got DJ Moore. We got Darnell Wright. Okay. We traded the number 9 pick to the Eagles to move back one. They wanted Jalen Carter. And we traded back and we got their pick. So we got DJ Moore, Darnell Wright, Tyreek Stevenson, then the first overall pick this year. A 4th pick from the Eagles this year, a 25 pick next year from the Panthers. All that for one pick. If you get that same thing again, imagine getting 3 players like Tyreek Stevenson, Darnell Wright, and DJ Moore. One's a ready-made starter, plug and play, and the other 2 rookies who made the all-rookie team. Darnell Wright made the first team all-rookie team. Tyreek Stevenson made the second. Now you're building depth with youth for the team. And you already know who I like. That's why I say you go to Washington. You talk to Washington and say, hey, listen, here's your hometown kid. Bring him back. All right, put asses in the seats. Okay, jersey sales, T-shirt sales. People are coming to see this kid who grew up 20 miles away, 30 miles away from the stadium, whatever, in the DMV area. It makes sense. Because it did a hell of a lot for Derrick Rose and the Bulls when they drafted him. It's going to do the same thing for Washington if they draft Caleb Williams. And truth be told, there's so much politics going on. That might be the move that the Bears have to make. I think so many people think the NFL is scripted, and I do too. I think they say, hey, listen, all right, we're going to go the Derrick Rose route. You're going to trade, but they're keeping it. I'm a conspiracy theorist. You can say it. I mean, I'm not afraid to say it. But I think that's the move that the league wants. Washington and you got to remember the East Coast bias. The Giants. Okay. The Commanders, the Eagles, and America's team. Dallas, even though they're in Texas, they're still the NFC East. When those teams are doing good, the East Coast bias. You get all those teams doing well. So it just from a financial stand, looking at the money. Harold, good morning, Papa. Thank you for tuning in. I agree with everything you said about Justin. He's not a finished product, but coaching is very important. My main concern is the third offense in 4 years. Well, if they trade him, he's going to have to learn another offense, right? If they trade him to Atlanta, if they trade him to Pittsburgh, he's going to have to learn another offense. And the truth be told, the offense that they had, that this guy's bringing, is not different. Is not very different from the one he just left. It's not different from the Luke Getsy one. Also, the haul will not only be for this year, but for years to come. Yeah. And that's Ryan Poles has said he wants to build through the draft. What better way to build through the draft than to have 2 first-round picks in 23, 2 first-round picks in 24, 2 first-round picks in 25, 2 first-round picks in 26? How much better, how much more can you build for the draft than that? You follow me? Like, that's sustained success. Because you don't know where these teams are going to be. What if a team quarterback goes down? Just like Carolina. We traded with Carolina. They're the worst team in the league. We got the number 1 pick again. Who's to say that doesn't happen down the road in 25 or 26 again? Think of all the holes we fill. You want your, I talked about what I believe and I feel Poles is going to do. There's a player coming with that trade. You're giving us a player. You're giving us a player, damn it. Yeah, so back to the question with Harold. Yeah, the offense is very similar to what he's run. Maybe some verbiage, a few more packages. So it's not going to be a completely brand new offense that he's going to have to learn. It'll be a modification of what he learned already, which is beneficial to him. I'm anxious to see who he asks, and who. I mean, we're only going to find out if the trade happens, because there'll be rumors. Or he talked to this person. He wanted this. He wanted this. He wanted this. Like, what if the Patriots want to jump up? What if the Giants want to jump up? What if the Falcons want to jump up? I hope so too, Harold. But I feel strongly about it. I feel strong about that sentiment. Because his defense needs a couple more pieces. I think you need to find Eddie Jackson's replacement. And I don't think you cut Eddie Jackson. Let him go next year. And all that money comes off the cap next year. So you got to remember the budgeting. If you could sit there and pay Eddie Jackson $18 million, And when next year when it comes off, you just gain 18 mil on your cap. You don't want to have any dead cap money here. This shit, and the guy not play. Okay. But you draft his replacement. You draft the guy you think is going to be your free safety in the future. So he has a year of tutelage under Eddie Jackson, and then next year, whoop. That type of haul is why resetting the clock stuff is a fallacy, because the Bears will be fitting positions with inexpensive first, second, and third round picks. I don't know about inexpensive, but it's going to be budgeted. And that's the thing that people don't understand. It's budgeted. You know, you know exactly what they're going to, if you're a first or second round pick, they go off of last year's salaries, previous year's salaries or contracts in that slot, maybe go up 3 to 5%, and that's it. And then you sit and you fiddle around with guaranteed money, the money up front, the signing bonus, but it's all going to be pretty close. It's pretty much set, like a 3 to 5% increase from the year before in that slot. So I don't know about inexpensive, but it's going to be budgeted, and you'll know. Which is what I've been saying this whole time. Get someone that you know exactly what. This is why I told you that I said for them to pick up Justin's fifth-year option. Because if he doesn't work out and you want to trade him before the last year, someone say, okay, I'll be happy to give him $23 million for 1 year and see if he deserves an extension. But if you don't, and Justin Fields has a good year statistically, if Justin has a good year statistically and you don't, so now what do? You sign him? Or does he go somewhere else asking for a lot of money? At least you have him under control, and you can use him as a chess piece if need be. Again, I don't think it's going to happen, but that's a possibility. That's a real possibility. And like I said, how many quarterbacks have won the rookie deal? How many first rounders have won the rookie deal? Matthew Stafford, Patrick Mahomes. That's it. I said you got to go. When you got to go back to the Mannings, to Eli and Peyton. Oh, and I forgot. Hold on. Here's what I want. This guy, Callahan. Here we go. Brian Callahan. Brian Callahan is, where's he going to, he's being named the head coach of somewhere. Where's Brian Callahan? Football coach. Tennessee. Okay, so Brian Callahan is going to Tennessee. He was the offensive coordinator, play caller for the Cincinnati Bengals. Let's see how well Joe Burrow does. First of all, if he stays healthy. But let's see how well J2K, Walls of Jericho. Yep, thank you very much. Let's see how well Joe Burrow plays now that he's lost Brian Callahan. Brian Callahan's been there through Joe Burrow's entire stay in Cincinnati. The haul is great if Justin makes a tremendous leap. No, the haul is great, period. The haul is great, period. If Justin makes a great leap, that makes it even better. Because remember, if there's a quarterback coming out in 25 or quarterback coming out in 26 and Justin doesn't work, you got 2 first-round picks you could trade to go get it. Go get it. You know, and that's the thing. It's like just because other people have done it a certain way for so long doesn't mean that it can't be done differently. Which is why I'm really, really rooting for Lamar Jackson to win and the Baltimore Ravens to win the Super Bowl. I need that to happen. My goodness, how awesome would that be? Because it changes the narrative completely on running and quote unquote running quarterbacks. It's crazy and ludicrous until somebody does it. That's not so crazy anymore. You could still win a Super Bowl. You don't have to be the most prolific passer in the world. You don't. We just happen to have Patrick Mahomes up there. You got to play great defense, play ball control. I mean, there are ways. Yeah, he did. Harold, you're talking about Brendan Callahan did a great job with the backup in Cincinnati. Yep. And that would be amazing for Lamar. It'd be great for him. You know, remember the clip I played last week from Dan Orlovsky? That rings so true. And then all of a sudden, oh, maybe we could win like that. Like I said, don't give me 4,000 yards. I get it. It's nice to look at. It's great. Give me titles. Because if that's not how your offense is built, again, if Justin, say keep Justin, which I'm predicting that they will. Say they keep it, he throws for 3,600 yards, 3,800 yards. But also has 800, 1,000 yards on the ground. Do we just discount those? Do we just discount those? Because some of those yards were first downs. Some of those yards move those yards he has move the chains. Some of those yards kept drives alive. So the dual threat quarterback anywhere. Much to the good old boys networks dismay, it's not going anywhere. And if Lamar wins it this year, whew, now there's a whole different topic of conversation. A whole different topic of conversation. You know, I'm hoping, obviously Marvin Harrison Jr., who I'd like, but I want them to get, if they can get, there's a tight end. Like Brock Bowers would be great. There's a couple other ones. Someone said Noah Fant is a free agent available. I don't know about the free agent market. But if you get a young tight end, someone mentioned a couple tight ends last week, on Monday or last week. If you remember a good tight end, put him back in. Put him in the chat as well. If you remember a good tight end coming out this year, because if you have that, like we have the ability to get Cole Kmet and another tight end, so you can. I mean, you're talking 12 personnel, 22 personnel. Two tights, fullback, tailback, DJ Moore out to the left. Both tight ends go out on the route, fullback in the flat. Like there's so many different things. So many different ways. Cade Stover from Ohio State, third or fourth round pick. Okay. Ignoring Fields' rush yards like ignoring Forte's success in the passing game. Yeah. And why do we do it? We praise Christian McCaffrey for it, but we vilify Justin Fields for it. Well, Christian McCaffrey can run and catch. But Justin, no, he can't run. And people talk, you're going to get hurt. He gets hurt more in the pocket. He gets hurt more sliding than he does running and getting hit. When you hurt his thumb, he wasn't running. He was in a pocket. He was being chased from the pocket. This defense needs a couple more pieces. I mentioned the replacement for Eddie Jackson, a 3-tech, although I do think Javon Dexter could be that 3-tech. But defensive end, you're good at the linebacker spot, you're good at the corner spot, the slot, the nickel back, strong safety and Brisker. But you give me a 3-tech, a defensive end. Man. This defense, almost there. B, he got hurt this year because he held on the ball for almost 7 seconds. Sometimes he did. But let's not act like other quarterbacks don't do the same thing. Patrick Mahomes doesn't do the same thing. Josh Allen doesn't do the same thing. What Justin had to learn was if you're going to hold it for that long, you need to run. If you're going to hold it for that long, you can't wait for your guys to get open. They're not going to get open at that point. They're 5 seconds. If they're not open, they're not open. You got to run. You got to go. Or throw it away. Yes. Or throw it away. Yep. But that's coaching. All right, that's coaching. Because he had the opportunity to throw it away so many times. And he didn't. This is the coaching. Now, mind you, he's got to know that. But his coach has got to be on him as well. Your coach has to be on you as well. Get into his skull like, look, you can't do this. You're killing us. All right? The sack is killing us. Throw the ball away. J2K, in my opinion, a lot of these negative narratives about Fields have improved, but the same thing gets said over and over again. Yeah. I was watching JT O'Sullivan, and I'm starting to sour on him, JT O'Sullivan. Not that he can't break down film. No, not at all. It's the agenda that he has. The agenda. You know, he put up one against the Packers, and it's where he like throw the fucking ball. I was like, sorry, go get headphones because I can't do this shit. Blah blah blah. So I'm watching it. He goes, you got to throw a slant to DJ Moore. I was like, okay, let me watch this. He said, you can't throw it to Kmet. You shouldn't throw it to Kmet. Throw it to your guy. And I'm like, wait a minute. I was like, first of all, it was the first drive. It was the first drive. Secondly, Justin Fields moved number 7. I can't think of who that is, number 7 on the Packers. Because he thought he was going to DJ on a slant. He took a jab step, and that opened up, or that gave the window that Cole Kmet had. They gave him more time, more space. And had you thrown a slant to DJ, 1, it could have got picked. 2, he could have got destroyed. But 3, it saved Kmet from getting hit. So he looks at DJ, and the number 7 takes a step, and then as he's taking the steps, when he hits Cole Kmet, like bam. So when people the same things get said over and over again, you're like, you don't know football. Because I'll show you one play where he's moving the linebacker, moving the safety. and how it opened up the window for Kmet. And had you thrown it to DJ Moore, it would have been 2 more yards, 3 more yards. Come on. That's funny. JT had just as number one quarterback in 21 said he was a franchise guy end of last year, but he also has done breakdowns in all his games and sees the same issues. Yes. If you see the same issues, then these need to be addressed by coaching. The slant was open, yes. And here's my thought to that. It's the first drive of the game. Maybe, just maybe, you want to get your tight end involved. Because if you get your tight end involved early, here's what happens. Defenses realize that, oh, snap, he's been going to Cole a lot. And they may tend to, as the game goes on, it will open it up for DJ Moore because of the fact that you've hit Cole Kmet so many times. And you started with him early. I agree with you. The player has to execute. I agree. I couldn't agree more. But on that particular play, what was so egregious about that? What was so egregious about that play if you're getting your tight end involved early? Setting up more open or single coverage for DJ Moore later in the game. What's so egregious about that? Because right after he said that, he's like, "Oh, I'm fucking tired in this. Go get your earmuffs." It came up 14-10. Like, that's literally the first drive. 14-10 left in the first quarter. So you're mad that he doesn't hit the slant, but he moves the safety, gets it to Cole Kmet for a 6-8 yard gain, and you're mad that he didn't hit the slant for another 2 yards, maybe 3 yards. I'll take getting my tight end involved early because DJ Moore he can take a house call anytime. How you evaluate a player has to take into account what the player does at some point. It can't only be coaching and supporting cast. So I agree. But we can't gloss over the fact that the supporting cast has let Justin down a lot. Last year, it's the first drive. It's literally probably the first play of the game or second play of the game. It's okay. And I know he's a yak monster, but he's in a cup. There's a cornerback trailing him. Number 7 was actually going to him when he took the jab step, which opened up the window for Kmet. And he had the safety over the top. And I'm not saying that he wouldn't have gone to the house. I just highly doubt it on that play. He was traveling into a cup of defenders. But didn't DJ Moore have the most? He had career numbers in yards and touchdowns. And before we say anything about Tyson Bagent, he averaged 55 yards, 54 yards. He had about 200 yards, give or take, in those 4 games that Tyson Bagent started. 50 yards a game. Who knows what he would have had Justin been there? And again, I agree. There are things that he has improved on greatly, and there are other things that need to work on. If you haven't seen improvement, I don't know what to tell you. Moving the goalpost, how? How? So last year was the first time he had a receiver, a number one receiver, even though his offensive line was jacked up, because you can't go to the season before. They tanked. First season with Nagy. You know, like what? I don't understand. Like, we're not moving the goalposts. We're letting the guy develop. We're letting the guy grow. We're letting the guy. We just talked about it with Kobe White. Took him 3 years, 4 years. Larry Marketing with the Bulls. He leaves, and years later he becomes an all-star. Why? He couldn't become an all-star here? Okay. That's cool. And if this guy can help alleviate some of those issues, wow. Well, listen, 2 hours is come and gone. Holy shnikes. I want to thank my guest, Evan Winter, for coming on, talking Bears football with us. I want to thank you guys, keeping this chat lit. Be nice. Love it. Harold, J2K, Walls of Jericho. That's what I'm talking about. Cornelia Squall, Armando. All you guys, I love it. I love it. I love it. James Ford, man, everybody in the chat, thank you. Listen, I got to take off. I got to go pick up the warden from CrossFit. You guys have a phenomenal day. It's rainy here in Chicago. It's going to be about 40. So the rain's going to do away with a lot of the snow. I'm just looking out there. You said moving the goalpost when I mentioned J1's issues. Yes, you go to DJ Stats. I'm not moving the goalpost. What I'm saying is that DJ Moore had a great year, had his best year. So let me not even say his stats. His best year with Justin Fields. He had his best year with Justin missing 4 games. You see what I mean? But to quantify it, how are people say, well, how does he have his best year? Well, then let me show you how he had his best year. The thing is, no, the Kobe White position with the Bulls is a comparative. No, it is. It's about development. You need to develop. That's the issue. You need coaching to develop. Players don't develop themselves. Players don't develop themselves. So if you can't get coaching, you're going to resort to whatever it is that you're comfortable with. But yeah, I got to run. Guys, you have a phenomenal day. This will be replayed tonight at 8 p.m. Central. So it'll be on Sports Zone Chicago, my Facebook page, Sports Zone Chicago Facebook page, YouTube, the whole 9. All right. I appreciate it. Guys, we'll see you same bad time, same bad channel on Friday, 9 a.m. to 11 Central Time. So for everybody here at Sports Zone Chicago, Elliot Baez, our executive producer, Clarence Council, social media guy, Maya, my co-host and absentia. Guys, I'm your boy, the Superback, Shawn Sierra. Have a phenomenal, phenomenal day. All right. I will see you on Friday. I'm out.